This is the video for the chi-squared game. Here in the blue note box it says, find the best fit of a normal distribution to 1,000 observations. To select a mean for the distribution, click on the green bar at the bottom. The black mark points to the mean. So down here I have already set my black marker here to where I think the mean value is, and here it says that's at 0.420. On both sides of the mean mark is a gray bar that indicates one standard deviation from the mean. Well, here we see a gray bar on the left of the mean and one on the right of the mean. So the actual distance between both is 2 standard deviations. Select the standard deviation by clicking on one of the 5 values in the green box at the top of the screen. Well, here we see the green box. We can lower the standard deviation, and as we lower it, we notice the chi-square value changing quite a bit. At 25, the chi-square is the lowest value. The total chi-squared value for the selection will be displayed at the top right here. And here we see when the standard deviation was set to 25, that's the lowest chi-squared value we could get. There are 100 different games. This particular game is game 0, and it goes up to game 99. I'm going to click Next. The height of the blue bar is determined by the number of observations at that point. Notice here, where we decided the mean was at 420, is where the taller bars are. 68% of the observations should be above the gray bars, so 68% of the blue area should be above the gray bars. And here we see this area here is about 68% of the blue area. Each point is one interval for the chi-square test. The standard deviation defines the number of intervals. The test is for 4 standard deviations on each side of the mean. The number of intervals is equal to 8 times the standard deviation width. And here we can see as we change the standard deviation, we'll see over here the number of intervals changes. All the way down to just 80. I'm going to put it back to 25. The degrees of freedom is 1 less than the number of intervals. There is a test value given for 9 p-values. Here we see the p-values go from 0.995 to 0.005. Our degrees of freedom is 1 less than the number of intervals. It's 199. Once you have found the lowest chi-square value, use these values to test for a normal distribution. Well, our chi-squared is 176.51, and that fits right in here in the p-values. Therefore, we would say that this is a normal distribution. Now we click Next. Click the blue box top center to see the details. The values for each interval are shown. We'll click it. And here we see the different points from point 319 all the way to point 519. The first value is for the point value. The second value is for the number of observations at that point. And we'll see here at 4 standard deviations away, we don't have any observations here or at the other end. The third value is the expected number of observations for that point. Now I'm going to go down here and look where we said the mean value was, 420. There it says we found 18 observations at that point, and we expected 15.93 if this is a normal distribution of mean 420 and standard deviation 25. The difference between the observed and the expected is calculated. This difference is then squared. The square is then divided by the expected value. The total of these values is the total chi-squared. That's this value here. Well, that's the end of the game part of the chi-square game. Now we're going to go to the program for the chi-squared game. Here on the left we see the instructions for the main program of the chi-squared game. Over here on the right in the blue boxes we can execute the application, save it, create a new one, and create a new subprogram. The other blue boxes are for copying instructions from one program to another or one application to another. Below that we see the list of the programs. The main program is called the chi-square program. Then there's two subprograms. Below that in these brown boxes we see tools that can be used to program in this P code. You can list the values, the page text, assign names, put in comments and captions, and learn about control registers and ASCII and different colors and fonts and so forth. Below that there is a list of YouTube videos that go from creating a P code app all the way to making an HTML file for your P code app. Below that there is an app that shows the use of the different actions in the P code. Over here in the main program, this column here is called actions, and each one of them is an action that is defined down here and explained in this particular application. Below that is a list of HTML5 P code YouTube videos that will explain how the P code works, about instructions, the values and the text, the green lines which are for copying, and the different forms of data and fonts and so forth. Now I'm going to go back and execute the application by clicking the blue box. Here we're back to the application. At the bottom of it, it says we can start an app. Well, one of the apps labeled A through T. If you go to program here and you change the program, you can save it to one of these folders, A through T, and then when you come here you can run your version of chi-squared. Then below that there's a list of the HTML5 P code apps. Well, this is just a part of the list, and the list grows all the time. Alright, this is the end of the video on the chi-squared game.